You okay? Okay, let me do that just 1 second.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe let's move this so that the viewers can see it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you have subtitles. Maybe that's okay. You can read subtitles. Make it so a little bit less.
Oh, sure, absolutely. So this is one example of the invisible homeless. That people don't think about. Second,
You're homeless in Los Angeles, Pasadena.
another man living in his car. I have just a couple more. Living in a hotel. Okay. And last but not least, counseling. She's in Berkeley.
Sleeping in against the wall, so you sleep on the side.
So, in appreciation of your valuable time,
Sure.
these people are not being served.
Mhm.
This is how I know this, is I have volunteered. I'm originally from Los Angeles. I now.
Me too, actually.
What city?
San Fernando Valley.
I'm born and raised in Arcadia.
Okay, I know
No
that.
one's ever heard of Arcadia.
I know where Arcadia is.
You do?
No, I went to school in Pasadena, so
Okay.
I know.
So you know the
Yeah, I know
area. Okay. Well, I now live in that huge RV that's parked almost in your parking lot. You
Oh.
probably said, good
It
gracious,
looks brand new.
that monstrosity. Yeah, it is. It's almost brand new.
Yeah, it looks quite nice. No, it does actually.
Well, that's nice of you to say that. Yeah, I invested a lot of money in it, and that's what I now live in. So I volunteer, and the reason why I volunteer, as I mentioned, I have a successful training company. Most of my clients are cities: Cupertino, Redondo Beach, Beverly Hills, Milpitas, all over. And I've done that for 21 years. I teach Word and Excel. They hire me. I come up for a couple days. And I have been so fortunate, and I am a veteran, that I wanted to give back. So I started to volunteer at the Salvation Army in Southern Nevada, teaching homeless vets how to use computers. I also did it in Los Angeles. And I also made phone calls in the LA area. There's something called the Workforce Development Agency. It's a statewide agency, and they provide job training.
Sure.
Long story short, nobody is giving what these people need, and that's job training, how to create a resume, how to job search online. They're not giving it to them online. There's job training agencies or centers or locations. These people, councilmen, they don't have the money to drive their RV to get there. Or if they do have the money for gas, they don't have the money to park. Or they can't find parking. I arrived last night, and I know that firsthand. There's no way to park these RVs. Or, and I know this from making phone calls, if you call these agencies, they'll say, we do offer computer training, but not right now. Call us back. I've also heard we've run out of money. Call us after July 1st. Or if these people are fortunate enough to be able to drive to the location, they're not offering the class that they need. A lot of these people are underemployed. So they're living in their cars and their vans and their RVs. They want to get a better job, but they work during the day, fast food or some other underemployed. They need the job training, Word, Excel, how to create a resume, how to job search. They're not able to get it. Now, and so far, so good? Any questions?
No, makes sense.
And this is how I know it. As I mentioned, Councilman, I would drive from Los Angeles, I used to live in Hermosa Beach, to Southern Nevada on a Sunday. I didn't want anybody to know I paid my own way. I paid for my own hotel. I went to the Salvation Army Center on Monday morning. It's on Owens Boulevard.
Mhm.
And the very first time I showed up, the agent, the caseworker said to me, "So, Tim, we're so happy you're here. What do you plan on teaching these homeless people, homeless vets?" "Oh, what everybody needs to know: Word, Excel, Outlook, and PowerPoint." She says, "Sit down for a minute." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "These people don't even know what an internet browser is. They don't even know what email is, but they need to know what email is. They don't even know how to search the internet for a job." What an eye-opening experience, Councilman. So I sat down and I taught these people how to go to Google and open up a Gmail account, and how to do an attachment, and how to send, and then how to log in and look in your inbox and respond and reply. I also had an experience at the same place. It was Sunday, I think it was January 19th. I drove to Las Vegas, woke up on January 20th, went to the Salvation Army Center as I usually did. And I said, "Hi, I'm here to teach the computer class." They go, "Why are you here?" I said, "To teach the class." They said, "It's Martin Luther King's birthday. It's a federal holiday. Nobody's here." I was like, "Well, I didn't know that." I said, "Do you mind if I sit in the computer room anyways?" Because I felt if I could help one person, that was my objective.
Sure.
Halfway through the hour, a 53-year-old man came in, was a veteran, and I said, "Are you here for the free computer training?" He says, "No." I said, "Well, what are you trying to do?" He says, "I'm a long-haul truck driver. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be a taxi driver in Las Vegas. I want to be with my family." I said, "Do you have a resume?" He says, "No." I said, "Do you know how to job search?" He says, "No." I said, "Sit down, I'll show you." So the end of the story is, I went home and I created a website for people that need to know these skills, that don't even know what a browser is. I mean, from square one. And that's what these people need, and they're not getting counseling. There's billions of dollars being poured into food, shelter, showers, motel vouchers, clothes, but no one is teaching these people how to fish. You know what I mean by that? No one's teaching these people, and they want to know. Just like that gentleman that said, "I want to know how to create a resume. I want to know how to get a job." He was clueless, and a lot of these agencies don't offer this. The Salvation Army didn't offer computer training, didn't offer any video training. I was the guy, and I just can't understand. So my hope is the city of Palo Alto, or the city council, will fund this, and we can start here in Palo Alto with you, Councilman, and give free online job training. They can access it from their RV. You know what I found interesting when I was teaching in Southern Las Vegas? A lot of these homeless people had phones. And I said, "Wait a minute, how do you guys have phones?" They're called Obama phones. And they got them for free. So they have access to the internet. They have access to email. And they can watch this. Tell me your thoughts, Councilman.
So if you're a potential vendor to the city,
Right.
I really can't comment because there's a procurement process.
Right.
And so I can't say one way or another.
Right.
But this is something that definitely the viewers can comment on and think about, right? So it's on our Facebook page. But I personally can't comment on if you're a potential vendor of the city.
The definition of a vendor is I want to do business with the city.
Yeah.
I do not want to do business
Or
with
if you
the
want
city.
money from the city, it's
is it the same?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So I can't because we're not supposed to decide on items until it's actually heard. So if you're a potential vendor, I cannot say one thing or another because of that.
You said you can't make a decision until it's heard.
So what happens is, so if they call these like sunshine laws, right?
Right.
Basically, the basic idea is that you make decisions in the public, right? That's the basic idea.
Right.
And so, so that's why it has to be a public vote, right? There's not a, yeah. So anyways, so in terms of vendors,
right,
or you want money from the city, or I can't comment one way or another.
Okay.
Yeah.
My idea, because I've been.
I understand the problem, but
Thank you.
I can't talk about the efficacy of the service or endorse
absolutely.
it or anything like that.
Right. Now, I went through this process a little bit down south in some of the cities in Southern California, and I realized that if a council person hears an idea, they can get two other interested. They can put it on the agenda and get it passed.
Well, what has to happen? So if you want to make this happen, you got to talk to other council members as well.
Okay.
And then you have to. So I think it takes like 3 council members to say yes.
Correct.
Either that or you get the mayor to do it.
Okay.
So if you convince the mayor to do it, or you get 3 council members,
Yes.
then it can go on the agenda.
Okay. So I've talked to one, and I understand you can't say anything more about it.
Yeah.
So I just need to contact 2 others. How do I get 3 together saying this is good?
Well, you don't have to get 3 of us together. You just have to get them to understand and acknowledge the problem. Or you get the mayor to do it, or you get the city manager to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the basic process. So the basic process to get anything done in the city, right?
Right.
That staff doesn't already want to do themselves. Is you need 3 council members. Actually, we're going down from 9 to 7. So
right.
So actually, I don't know what the new number is, but it's maybe 2 or 3. I'm not sure what it is actually, to be honest. It's either 2 or 3. So 3 is better. It's better safe for 3. Either that or you get the mayor to say, like, to put this on the agenda.
So the mayor supersedes everything and everyone.
The mayor is just a council member, but it rotates among people.
Correct.
But the person acts as kind of like the chairperson. So the mayor could put it on the agenda, or the city manager could also do it. So, yeah. So to make something like this happen, those are kind of different routes from like the city point of view. But there's a lot of other organizations as well, which I would think would be very interested in something like this, right? And both in the city and outside the city.
Right.
And so I don't know if you also talk to them about that, because that's another way of doing it. The other way is we actually have these grants. But it's usually for like nonprofits within the city, typically, that you could also apply for, right? And that goes through our Human Relations Commission. So some members may be watching right now, they may come out and contact you, right? So but that's another way of doing it, right? So and that's probably actually, to be honest, probably the best route is going through the HRC, I would guess.
These homeless service providers are not interested. It's been my
The
experience.
Human Relations Commission is a commission set up by council to
Right.
deal with this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically they would kind of look at this in detail, kind of vet it, and then make a recommendation to council.
Okay.
And that's because this. I don't think this is super controversial.
Right.
But it's not something that the council thinks about every day.
Right.
And so they have commissions that kind of specialize on things. So I think this would probably be something that that they would take a look at.
And
in fact, most cities are like that as well.
And it was called the Human Relations Commission?
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to get in touch with 1 or 2 of their members.
Yeah.
Speak to them.
And then getting on the agenda is pretty much just the chair's discretion.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a lot easier to get on the agenda.
Versus going to each individual council person?
It's much, much harder.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know,
Okay.
because the council, you may have seen our agendas, but our agendas has like a ton of items, right?
Sure.
And so it's difficult to get things on there, because right now already our agendas are already so full that we're having like special meetings. We're meeting earlier and we're staying later, so it's super hard to get stuff on the agenda just because there's so many things competing for that. On HRC, all they do is focus on human relations stuff,
Okay.
and so it's much much easier to get on their docket than ours.
Okay.
And because like even if you get people to agree to say yes, let's share this, it's like what quarter, right? We hear this, right? That kind of thing, right? It could be 6 months, 9 months out, right? Versus the HRC, this is their purview, right? This is what they focus on.
Right. Okay. Do you have anyone, do you know who runs the HRC? Or
So all the contact information is actually, if you type Palo Alto HRC or Palo Alto Human Relations Commission,
Okay.
it'll pop right up. I mean, you'll see all the contact information, and yeah, just feel free to reach out to them. And I mean, in fact, you don't really need to. I mean, it's good to talk to them ahead of time, but you could just show up at one of their meetings.
Okay.
So I forgot exactly when they meet, but
It's probably on the city website, isn't it?
sometimes yeah, and so you can see when they're meeting.
You need to.
Okay. So yeah, you could send a message in, but you could also just speak during public comment, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so during public comment, you can talk about it. You can talk to all of them, right? So that's another way of doing it.
That's very effective.
And this is something that I also recommend you try with not just our city, but other cities as well. I think other cities have at least around here, have a similar setup. So you could kind of like make the rounds to all the cities.
I'm going to do that
Yeah.
because this is these poor people deserve everything. They deserve this. Councilman, thank you.
Hey, thank you for your
I
time.
appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
of course.
Nice to meet somebody from the Southland.